welcome to the Lethal Collective on Mondays. And as of right now, you're getting 50% of our effort. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. You're getting 50% of the Lethal Collective. I got my boy KillJoy Jake with me. What's going on, bro?
I mean, the best 50%, though. No.
Hey, look, it's fun.
I think you cut out, my dude. Look at that. Starting off the show, we're cutting out from internet. It's
I know,
great stuff.
I know, man.
What's up, dude? What?
I know, man. I don't know, man. My Wi-Fi is spotty.
Oh, you're good.
But man, it's been so many times I've looked back on some of our streams where it might have been, 2 or 3 of us, and that's always kind of like the running gag. It's like, oh, well, it's it's the best part, like the best part of waking up.
I think someone heard me backstage though.
Yes. Okay, hold on. We got a third person coming in. Hey, there we go.
All I can say is the best part of waking up is Craven in your cup. Okay.
Dude, it's so funny you said that because that was in the back of my mind. The best part of waking up. That's too funny, man.
That's right.
I don't know what that says. I really don't know what that says.
I don't know either.
You just want to drink Craven out of a cup.
Oh,
wow.
Now, it's not like you're talking about like the whole liquefying shunting process of society. Oh no.
Yes, that is exactly what I'm talking about.
No.
Wow. I don't even know what to say after all of that. But hey to everyone in the chat. We got Paula and Julie and Wayne. And we got a member anniversary 1 month for Sarah.
Golf claps, everyone. Golf claps.
Saying, yeah, there you go. Saying, hey, friends. What's going on, Sarah? Thank you so much. The queen herself. All right.
Yes. Wait a minute. Hang on, Night. Put her back up, man. Put her back up.
Who, Sarah?
Sarah. Put Sarah's thing back up.
Gotcha.
Because someone may not know this. We have channel memberships.
Shit.
We breezed by that a little too quick. 1 month anniversary. Guys, yes, you can be a channel member of the Lethal Collective.
That's right.
And collected too. The Lethal Collective. And guys, Jake, I'll put you on the spot, my friend.
Yo.
You're ready. You're always ready for it.
Always ready.
Always ready.
Beyond ready.
He was born beyond ready. Tell these amazing folks that are watching live and on the replay, what is the key perk? I mean, you get a lot of cool stuff like your name's highlighted and all that good stuff, priority stuff, emojis. But what's that one key component that they can do?
Members can make us talking heads talk about whatever you guys want. I mean, not anything, but
almost anything.
Almost anything, you know? If it's got something to do with conspiracies or weird mysteries of this strange planet that we all are trapped upon, there you go. Throw it at us.
Ooh.
Throw it.
That's right. You can literally shape the content of these live streams if you're a channel member. That's a lot of power. You're wielding the power.
Wow, this is almost like a Star Wars thing, man.
Seriously, it is.
Unlimited power.
Yeah. Unlimited power.
Limited power.
I love it.
Right.
You can shoot lightning out of your fingers too if you're a member. So Sarah and Julie, you guys have lightning powers in case you didn't know. So
Force lightning.
Force lightning, yes, to specify.
There we go. All right.
Julie's being an overachiever.
She's
a 2-month anniversary.
I was just about to say hers came up too. So thank you so much to Julie and become a member of the Spooky Collective. That should have been part of the rebrand, bro.
The Spooky
Collective.
Ooh.
Get spooky with us.
We are alter egos.
What? Okay. All right, man. Craven's going crazy. So look, Julie, thank you so much for being a channel member as well. We really appreciate you and Sarah and everyone else. Also, we got Connie and I believe Denisha as well as channel members. So thank you so much. And again, if you guys would like to join, please hit the join button next to the subscribe button. All right. Very, very cool.
Very cool.
You guys rock. And Horror-B, hello to you as well. And the General. We got Val in the chat. All of you lovely people. You guys rock. All right. Very, very cool.
Yes. You rock like Kiss and the Stones, baby. The Rolling Stones.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's rock and roll right there. Some classics.
That's beyond rock and roll, man. You talking about some hollowed ground, bro. Seriously.
And let's not forget the Beatles, my friends. The Beatles.
That is true.
The Beatles brought a whole English sound over to America. You know?
Greatest rock band ever.
It is.
Undisputed.
Oh,
it is.
No, mate. I mean, you ever heard the top of the ZZ? The ZZ Toppers? They're pretty darn good, my friend.
The Toppers. That's what everyone calls them.
The first time I ever heard it, but it's okay. It's all right.
ZZ topped off.
Paula's saying, what about true crime? Paula, that is definitely on the table as well. You know, we definitely have interest in true crime. So if you guys have some ideas, feel free to let us know. Leave them in the comment section, all that stuff.
That's right. And become a channel member and submit them directly to us, and you get priority.
Heck yeah.
There you go.
Priority consideration.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, guys, we wanted to take a little time today and talk about this whole concept of the black mailbox and so forth. And Jake, I'll start with you, I guess, because we were talking a little bit about it backstage. But if you want to just let the folks know about this whole concept of the black mailbox and extraterrestrial highway, or as some people call it, the ET highway. Definitely an interesting place that I would like to visit, like I was saying to you backstage.
No. Oh no. Sorry.
It is it's just it's a black mailbox. It is as literal as it comes, but it is like Knight said, has some alien purposes to it. The black mailbox has been a decades-long meeting place for extraterrestrial obsessed who gather near the mailbox to try their luck at eyeing a UFO, or better yet, communicating with the aliens from beyond.
Right.
Ooh. So
exactly.
It's interesting. Like I don't think there's ever been really like a confirmed sighting around the black mailbox, but it is just like it's right next to Area 51. It's right in a hot spot apparently for UFOs. I've heard people talk about like this area, like you can go to certain spots where you can kind of see like UFOs in the sky and shit. It's crazy. I'm curious what you guys think about all this. The black mailbox I think is something that's usually considered to be a little more smoke and mirrors, but I want to throw this to the rest of the chat, considering what everyone else might think about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll jump in and then I can let Steven go. You know, like I was saying backstage, it seems like a lot of this extra attention and hype came, you know, in the wake of the whole Bob Lazar situation that we talked about in a couple streams ago, which I got to admit, man, I mean, I understand that because, I mean, he was literally working down in the area near Area 51 anyways. Like he always wanted to make sure, he said, well, I wasn't working at Area 51, but it was in that particular subdivision area. So once he said that what he was working on and the government and these alien craft and propulsion systems and all of that type of stuff, and he had brought people out in that area. And of course, that was part of the reason that he got quote unquote blacklisted. And the government kind of tried to shut him up and discredit him and so forth. But anyways, you know, all this attention came to that particular area. And it was like a newfound resurgence maybe in the whole idea of UFOs and the fascination with them. I think it's really, really interesting. And like I was saying backstage, if I lived closer to that area, I probably would have also visited by now too, because I just found that whole story and UFOs in general very interesting, which is of course part of the reason why we talk about it, because there is an interest to us, a fascination even within us, you know, as content creators. But yeah, I'm definitely curious, and I don't know. It would be cool to just go there and say, "Hey, I've been there." Take some pictures and all of that type of stuff, man.
Well, and like you were saying
Mhm.
about Bob Lazar, like the government has tried to shut him up for a very long time now.
Yeah.
Why? Like why would they spend so much time trying to cover up something if there wasn't anything to it? So that's what makes I think this whole story just so interesting. That there's something going on in these parts, but what is that? What could that be? Is it
Right.
scary little green men? I hope so.
Well, he said he even said that he saw as he was going through the hallways of the place that he worked at, he in a room saw something, and the way he describes it, it could have been, a being or whatever. He's been very adamant that it's not like he, clearly saw a little green man, but it was one of those types of things. But I mean, his story, there's a lot of credibility to some of the things that he has said. A lot of what he has said, I should say. When you talk about that element and all these different things with the propulsion system that he was working on, and what they saw that it would allow the craft to do the way that it could move in the air, that was totally impossible to what our technology would allow. And so, anyways, really crazy stuff. But what's even crazier is that
What could that be?
we've got a fourth person who is knocking on the door, and that's really crazy because he's really crazy, which means right now this is going to get really crazy. So let's bring him in.
And he lives in Nevada.
Oh my God, he's there right now. He's at the black mailbox.
He is literally in
He is
Nevada.
there live, guys. Live.
He should be on site with your iPhone, live broadcasting from the black box.
Reporting live.
Yeah.
Reporting live from the black box.
Can you just drive there real quick, and then we'll get this stream started?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hop in the car. Let's go.
Yeah, let me just hop in my car. Hang on. Let's go, guys. We'll do this together.
Okay.
Come on. Let's go.
Oh my
You just see me drive. You just hear it like, oh shit. I don't think the stream's gonna be long enough for me to get there.
Well, some of these
So
folks
it's a
in the
little-
live chat were saying they hadn't heard of the black mailbox. Interesting. But they have heard
It's
about
the
Bob
best kept
Lazar.
secret.
I guess so.
It is.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
I hate
No.
that I learned about this through the movie Paul. I don't know if you guys have seen Paul before. That is how I found out. Like, I was like, what is that? Like, it's about like two nerds, and they go like on like a thing or whatever, like a trip to go see like a bunch of like
Right.
alien hotspots and all that, and they take a picture with the black mailbox. I'm like, what's the mailbox? Like, I'm like, why did they go there? And I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, that's what it is. Cool.
People believe you can leave mail and all kinds of stuff in it, and it'll get answered by aliens and stuff. Like, there's all kinds of
Wow.
conspiracies. Yeah, like people will leave like mail inside the mailbox, and expecting a return letter.
Oh my God.
Wow. For real.
Imagine if you really did though. Imagine like you put thing in the mailbox, and then like an alien writes you like, "Hey, this is Paul the alien." Like just I got your letter. Thank you,
Dude, no, like it's in like hieroglyphics or something. It's like some weird,
It's
like
gotta be-
crazy written language. We have no idea what it is, you know?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
man.
all I picture is like Stan by Eminem, where he's, "Hey Paul, I wrote you. This is the third time this week. I thought you were my alien. Now it seems like we peaked. I don't know what's going on with you, but you're not answering me. I know you're a galaxy away, but still, at least take the time to think of me." Like it just going off.
God.
Oh wow.
Dude's
You hear
just
that?
spitting bars. Yeah, I was.
He is. What do you think this
And that
is?
was
8
like-
Mile?
And just randomness.
Yeah.
Look, you only have one shot to talk to aliens. Okay.
Oh gosh.
That's right.
Well, I guarantee you the delivery rate is more accurate at the black box than any mailbox that the post office is delivering to. I'll tell you that.
Mm.
Dude, if I was the owner of the black box, I would just be like, I would be that a-hole that's like mailing back everybody. Like I would just write like hieroglyphics or like get like a stamp and just like stamp it or like sear it in to the letter. Like get like some crazy paper and then like sear it in and then just like mail it off to people and everyone. Like it'd be so funny just turning on the internet and just seeing everybody like lose their minds. Like
Yeah.
everyone's like, look, aliens were spotted, and you got all the people with the tinfoil hats on. That would make
Oh
me
my god! Wow.
John,
Well,
I got your letter. Please leave me alone.
Right?
I have alien business to conduct that you're disturbing.
John, this is
going-
the 5th letter today.
This is the 5th letter today, John. Come on.
Come on, man.
Well, I
Like,
guess, man,
you
the
got a
guy.
wife and kids. This can't continue.
Well, but I guess the guy who was out in that area that actually is the owner, he I guess he had moved either his regular mailbox closer to his ranch. Like he had land out there, and then like the government like took a whole bunch of the Area 51 land or whatever. It was like a really convoluted, kind of like a weird story to hear. But there is an owner of the black mailbox.
Yeah.
And I guess there's been variations of it over the years. Like there's truly been black mailboxes, and sometimes it was like a white mailbox and this and that. And it's like, wow, man, can you imagine if you were the owner of that ranch or that area?
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, there were like multiple mailboxes like in that area at one point. Now I think it's just one, but there used to be like 2 or 3. And then but for whatever reason, that mailbox was the special mailbox. That one was the one where the aliens came and visited. And
Wow.
yeah. I mean, you can't explain crazy, right? So
Well, that's true.
whatever reason,
I mean,
that was the one. It wasn't the one right next to it. It was nope. It's this one. This one's radiating.
oh,
The aliens
wow.
just like
Oh,
this
yeah.
specific mailbox the most.
yeah.
Right.
But I mean,
Yeah.
like the area makes sense, right? It's there's nothing like for a mile. Like you got the night sky. It's pitch black. Like if you were ever gonna go somewhere to like try to scout aliens, it would be in like an area like that. It's like in the middle of nowhere. Right.
Mhm.
So like I get the idea of like going out there. Like it'd be cool even just to go out there, not necessarily to see aliens, but just to like stargaze and stuff out there, like take a telescope, like
No light pollution, dude. Like just being able to see all the stars.
yeah.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like that would be cool. Like, but yeah, as far as like aliens just choosing that spot in random, I doubt it. like why that out of everything else? Like they just they're a fan of mailboxes apparently. Like why not my mailbox? Okay, like I will gladly welcome an alien. Right? Imagine going outside, you just see an alien like putting a letter in your mailbox.
And he just looks at you and he goes,
Hey,
and that's
look,
all he says.
Puts it in and just walks away.
Yeah.
what if it was Bigfoot, man? Like the
No.
the fake video where he's kind of doing the walk and then he does the turn and stuff like that right as he's going
Right
to
in the
box.
camera, by the way. I love the
Yeah.
little turn.
I know.
It's great
Oh
stuff.
my God.
Speaking of Bigfoot, I think next week. I think I have our topic for next week's video. Unless like one of our channel members have something. But have you seen Jake? I know you watch it. The Y-Files. Have you seen the recent one with the Neanderthals?
Oh yeah. No, that was revealing. That was very revealing. I did not know a lot of that.
Like
Some
the
weird
entire
stuff in there.
time I was watching- Yeah, the entire time I was watching that, I was like, Bigfoot. That's exactly what this sounds like, Bigfoot. So I wanted to kind of like come up with our own theories on that. Like I wanted to like expand on that idea because I think that'd be an interesting topic. Like I'll fill you guys in later, but
Yeah.
Okay.
There is some stuff in there we might not be able to talk about on a live stream.
Definitely.
wow.
No, I don't want to
Yeah.
I don't want to like necessarily talk about this
No
stuff.
probing.
I don't want to necessarily talk about the stuff that he was talking about because I mean he took time to do all this stuff. I kind of wanted to piggyback off of the conversation and then kind of branch off in our own thing. Not like anything like substantial or anything like reported or anything. Just kind of like I have this idea in my head that I wanted us to kind of just run away with.
Okay. We can talk
And,
about it. Sure.
And yeah, I thought it'd be pretty cool. But like I said, I'll fill you guys in about it later. So look forward to next week where we talk about some
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it
But
may get a little sensual.
yeah,
Will it though? Will it?
I hope it does.
I mean, a 10-foot Neanderthal Why not?
He said, I hope it.
I like
I'll
me
be
some
the
tall
first-
cavemen. What can I say?
I'll be
There
the
you
first
go.
guy to fornicate with Bigfoot, and then everyone will look at me and go, "There he is. He fucked a Bigfoot once."
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
Oh, wow.
Mad
that
respect.
would be mad respect. You know, there he goes. That guy.
You can survive
There's
it.
that guy.
That's
There's that
That's
guy.
a Jay and Silent Bob reference, by the way. But instead of Bigfoot, it was Martians. That guy fucked a Martian once. no Jay and Silent Bob fans, huh?
I haven't seen that in
I haven't
forever,
It's
dude.
been so long.
I was just
Same.
about to say that too. It's been a long time.
I literally
Yeah.
live my life by that movie. That movie is life. Not the part 2, not Jay and Silent
No.
Bob reboot. That one was. I mean, it was.
It's all right.
It
Yeah.
was. But I mean, even Kevin Smith, which shout out to him, he's awesome. Even he
Yes.
said like that wasn't like that was just his passion project. It wasn't like
Yeah.
supposed to be. But the first Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, that movie is
yeah.
like one of my favorite movies ever. I love that.
Hey,
movie.
man, if Wes Craven's got a cameo, sign me up. That's all I
Yeah.
can do.
Wes Craven's
point.
got it.
Yeah, buddy.
Dude, George Carlin's scene in that is hilarious.
George
When
Carlin
he's-
was so funny. Oh my gosh,
Dude,
love him.
he's hilarious in that, where he's like giving blowjobs for rides to truckers.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So Jay and Silent Bob's like, there's a line, and on this side we ain't gay. It's not about gay straight. There's no lines anymore. Get to where you're going. Like it just like, goes down on the guy, and the trucker blows the horn. Like I was like, dude, George, could they really got George Carlin to do that?
Yeah.
Do the cameos and that, everything are great. But anyway, we got way off topic.
We went down a different path. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah.
did.
Earlier we were talking
it
about
is-
force lightning, and now we're definitely on a different path to the
Well,
dark side.
That relates to aliens, though. Kind
Yes.
of.
Okay. It was in a galaxy far, far away, Jake.
Knight, who are you to say that Star Wars didn't really happen? I mean, come on,
Good
man.
point.
Look,
Okay. Was a long time
you know
ago.
something like that
Yeah.
is going on in a galaxy far, far away right now. Who knows?
that's what
You know?
I'm saying.
I
man.
mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's like lightsabers and stuff, but there could be a war being waged right now that we
Right
are
now.
completely oblivious to.
Hey, man.
And
if you've
right
seen
now-
Galaxy Quest, you know
right
what's up.
That's true.
Dude,
That
that's an
movie-
Quest is awesome.
excellent movie.
Chef's Kiss. Chef's
Yeah.
Kiss movie. Seriously,
Yeah.
Galaxy Quest.
Yeah, you know, it's
So underrated.
Yep. Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
But with the black mailbox, though, something else I wanted to ask you guys, like, I'm like,
us on
man,
track.
Jake's like, I'm gonna be the professional one here, okay?
Right? Exactly.
one
I'm
of
rarely-
us has to be in
I'm rarely in that seat. Okay, look, okay.
Well.
You're like, yeah.
You're the best. You're the best, though, man. Go ahead.
It's funny. It's the youngest of all of us is like the one keeping us on. Getting us on track.
That's true.
The black mailbox though does raise a lot of questions. Like I think something really significant and interesting about it is like that we as humans like have this idea that aliens want to communicate with us. And I guess the question I wanted to throw at you guys is like, what do you think if aliens do exist, they do want to communicate with us or not? Is there a reason that they haven't? Or so, what are your thoughts on that overall? I guess Craven, I'll throw this one to you first.
So do I think they want to communicate? Right. It's the first part of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you think they want to? And if so, like, why haven't they?
I got you. Okay. Honestly, man, assuming if we're going to go into the assumption that the aliens, that if there are indeed aliens, right? Number one, we'll say they are for sake of discussion. If they are out there, if we're going under the assumption that they are highly advanced, like we're talking, Star Wars kind of, like highly Star Trek, highly advanced, intelligent, with way crazy technology and all this stuff. If that's truly the way they are, I don't think they would. I think we would be boring to them. It would be kind of like, it would be like us, saying, hey, let's go talk to the planet that has those ants on it and see how they like going to work every day and going to take their stuff back to the queen. And You know what I'm saying? I don't really think they care about us. If they are truly that advanced, they are so many light years, no pun intended, ahead of where we currently are as a planet in development. It would be like going back to a preschool. So, and look, don't get me wrong, I love kids, but I have no desire to go to preschool 8 hours a day and carry on conversations.
Yeah.
I just don't, because I need to talk to somebody a little more advanced in age and a little more developed, like where I'm at in life. So my answer is I think us thinking that they want to engage is us just self-flattering. I don't think they really care. I think we're so far behind. Now, if we were really advanced, now listen, we are really advanced in terms of what our knowledge is, but I'm talking about if we're like movie alien advanced, Independence Day, all that stuff. That's a different story. Then maybe there's some conversations that to be had, but we're not peers with these people. We are way underdeveloped. So that's my answer. I don't think they have any desire to talk to us. What would they say? That we would really, in other words, what would they care about that we want to talk about? I see them as either being a hostile takeover and just saying, "Oh, watch what I can do." Push a button and it's like we're all gone, or or they just leave us alone and say, "You know what? That's a little baby planet of people, of baby developments. They got a long way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Through 10,000 years from now, maybe they'll catch up." So that's my thoughts. I don't think they want to, and I think that's why they haven't, because we often, I think, elevate ourselves way above what we really are. So those are my thoughts, man.
Hell yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Tyler, I'll throw it to you, because I'm going to save my thoughts for the end. I'm going to be a bit of a contrarian, because we got to show all sides of the argument, So
Exactly.
So well, first off, imagine it's like Mars attacks and they like land and we send a dove and dove means war to them and they just start blasting us. We just declare war. That'd be hilarious. No. So I push back on that to an extent, Craven. Like what you said, I disagree. I actually think that they would want to contact. Like if an ant reached out to you tomorrow, would you not try to communicate back?
Well, it depends what my nature is, what my motives are, what my intentions are.
No, I'm speaking generally. If an ant held up a sign that said, "Hey, Craven," are you telling me you'd be like,
well, hold on now. Now that's no,
I might,
but that's different, because that's behavior that is not normative for us.
Exactly. Why would we be normative to them?
Because we've made 30,000 movies saying, and we've got black mailboxes.
Because movies are always.
We're ready for that big moment.
Historical documents.
The reason I say I push back to an extent is because I could see eventually aliens growing tired of us, right? Like if the first time an ant makes contact, you would be blown away and doing whatever you could for maybe even years of just trying to communicate, right? And maybe even help them and help build worlds and stuff like that. But at some point, you're going to be like, all right, I'm tired of communicating with ants, right? Eventually, you're going to be like, let's see what else we can talk to, right? So I do think to an extent, because again, we wouldn't be the norm for them, right? Because even if there is other life and they've ran into other life, they're still going to want to make contact to see and gauge where we are. Right? They're going to at least want to know, all right, like, are these guys idiots? Are they advanced? Are they more advanced than us? Because maybe they're a threat. Are they good? Are they bad? Are we ever have to worry about them at some point? So I do think that there would be a lot of incentive to speak to us. Now, have they ever done that? I mean, that's up for belief, right? Belief systems. Now, I'm trying to keep it focused, because I could go the scientific route, I could go whatever, but to spare time for everybody, the main issue is, our forms of communication being insufficient to them, right? So it is very possible that they want to communicate to us, but it is also just as much, if not more possible, that we have no real way of communicating with them, right? Like we're sending out like radio waves and sound waves and, you know, sending out like Morse code signals and stuff like that in the hopes that, because we have deduced that, okay, there is a general binary code for everything. You know, 11111111111111, right? So the idea is that, like, okay, if we've discovered that, then other life has discovered that. But even if they have discovered that, who knows how long ago they did, and they are just so far removed in advance. It would be like if somebody tried to reach out to you and like, you know, like some foreign language. I had a language in my mind. I had blanked on it. But like, it'd be like if somebody reached on a dead language, right? Like Latin. Latin's a dead language, right? So if somebody came and started speaking to you in tons and stuff, like you might not, like you'd be like, what? Like, I don't know what that is. So, and yes, that was a language at one point in time that was common, that people did understand. And there's, and we're also going on the assumption that they operate similar to us with sound waves, with radio waves, with whatever. Again, they could be so far removed from that, they might have their own laws. I mean, there's things, we have an understanding of how things work, gravity, you know, time, space, things like that. But we find stuff all the time that completely violates those laws. And if aliens really are coming here, they are absolutely violating those laws. So just by the belief that aliens can and have came here, the likelihood that we've truly communicated with them is very slim. Now, there is always the possibility that they are able, because all, like, what is English? What is Spanish? What is every language on earth? They're all just sounds. It's, you know, it's no different whether you're making clicks or you're making, all we are doing is just taking sounds and relaying them and you understand it, right? I'm putting things together, different sounds together to make words. So it is very possible that an alien race would be able to pick up on said sounds, or maybe even have translators or whatever, especially if they've met and contacted other cultures and other races of alien beings throughout. Because the idea that like everyone speaks English like they do in the movies is very likely slim to none. Or the most likely like scenario, if aliens exist, which is why it's such a common point of like movies and just real life encounters and accounts, is telepathy, right? To where, you know, instead of us communicating like this, we communicate like that. And now, instead of us trying to get them to understand, they just immediately understand. And even and look at us as a race. Like, watch. Yeah.
Oh,
why?
I got to see what Tyler did on Saturday night. It was pretty gross.
Yeah, you did. But like, look at us, for example. Like like things like the Neuralink. We're already creating technologies in which language might be obsolete for us in like as soon as 10 years. Because if I want you to know something, I can just send it to you. And it's programmed automatically into your brain. You would know everything. You would see everything. How many times have you tried to explain something to somebody and they just don't get it? And you're doing everything in your power to try to get them to understand. Imagine if I could just instantly have you know it, right? Oh, you want to learn how to space travel? Well, here you go. You know.
So what you're telling me is aliens can't play charades. Like that's off the table.
They suck at charades.
They just get the answer. Yeah,
they would just instantly get the answer.
So boring.
No, like that's that is probably the most likely scenario, but still, we'd still have to make contact. So, you know, again, sending sound waves is not the same thing as us communicating telepathically, and so we'd have to reach them through some form of communication, or they have came here and they made contact, which very well could have happened. Look, for all we know, aliens are chilling in Area 51, sipping Mai Tais. Like, doing whatever, living their best life, playing dice, and like who knows what's going on, and we would likely never know if they don't want us to know, right? Because anybody that comes out and says anything, 99% of the people are going to be like, that dude's a loon, right? And that's just where we live. So, but anyway, I could keep going. So Night, stop me.
Here's my thing though. Like, okay, if we assume, kind of like what Steven said, we assume that aliens, have existed and have visited this planet and so forth. This kind of goes off what you were saying too, Fate. Like, there could be this scenario where they've tried to make contact and we don't even realize it. Like you said, we can't communicate with them in that particular way that they think that we could, or we don't understand it. It's totally going over our heads. One of the first things that came into my mind when you were talking was that movie Arrival. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that with Jeremy Renner was in it, and oh my god, I'm blanking out on her name. She's awesome.
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams, yeah. And that was an awesome movie. And a big part of that movie was learning how to communicate and realizing that the aliens communicated. It was all about time, and like she was seeing, the past and the future and all that type of stuff. I don't want to, get all into it. But anyways, that's an interesting concept because of the fact that if they've communicated with us, or if they want to communicate with us, it wouldn't necessarily be in the way that we think about communicating. So the idea of the black mailbox, it's cute, it's cool, but chances are like almost 100%. I don't want to say 100, but basically saying 100% that they're not going to communicate with us that way. Although the idea of wanting to communicate with aliens is really, really cool. You know what I'm saying? And there might be a time when we're ready to have that communication, to have that I don't want to say conversation, because it may not even be a conversation, the way that we think of, relating to another being. It could be something totally different, just like in that movie. That movie was awesome because of that. I was just like, man, this is a really different way to try to show, that first contact or communication with an alien. Totally different than something like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, right? And so anyways, that's my quick spiel, is the idea of I think it's cool to want to communicate with aliens, but most likely it's going to be in a different way than what we can probably understand or imagine. That's my thing. I don't think they're going to be dropping off any mail in the black mailbox.
You know what, Knight, when you said that, what I thought of? It's like, I didn't think about it earlier, but I'm like, imagine if there are these advanced aliens are like, look at these life forms writing a note and putting it inside of a box outside. I'm like, that would be so primitive, dude. It'd be like, crazy primitive. Yeah,
I know.
Yet it's how we communicate.
Another example outside of like Arrival that came to mind was like the Twilight Zone. I'm trying to remember the name of the actual episode, but it's the one where like you had the two twin-headed aliens and they're invisible, and they're like in that diner, and they like walk through and they're like, oh, like these humans are, primitive, and and like they're literally there the entire time and you can't see them. Like you don't know that they're there, nothing. And like they're like trying to communicate, or even like the Maple Street one, right? Where they're just messing with us. And it's like they're right there. They're there the whole time. They're just behind this. Like they're trying to make communication, right? But we just interpret it as like chaos, or it's got to be somebody messing with us. Like, and that's the thing. I mean, if they're that advanced, literally, they could be sitting right next to you, and you'd never know. Right? I mean, if they can literally warp time and space to fly, you don't think that they could do that in a room? Right? Like, people barely like. How many alien encounters? Another great example. How many alien encounters do people say that like the aliens just showed up in the room? They didn't open the door. They didn't do anything. They literally. That's why a lot of people think they're like interdimensional beings, because they'll just like be in the room, right? People lock the door, they'll barricade themselves, whatever. Like you've had testimonies where people are like, no, I was awake. I hid in the closet, and then they're like behind me, like it's Slender Man, like, you know, and it's just like, it would make sense that like if they didn't want us to see them, we wouldn't see them. If they can travel light years, you don't think that we have invisibility cloaks? You don't think that they have something even further advanced than we do? Of course. Of course, and we have invisibility cloaks that are basically just like a shield that like bends light around it. Like you, and
it kind of looks like nothing's there. I've seen those before. Those are crazy looking.
I mean, and we have even like you don't think that they have like some material? Like look at like element 115. Like that thing is like literally alien-like. Or look at octopuses. Octopuses can literally like shade themselves into like whatever they want, like chameleons. You don't think that like there's not some being out there that can't just be like walking around and like we don't even know it? Like it's just like absolutely. So sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
How do we know one of us is not an alien?
Oh boy.
Well, Jake,
there you go.
I got a big head and big eyes. I don't know. You guys better be careful.
Watch out.
I'm coming for you. No, I'm kidding.
All right, Jake, you're up, brother. Weigh in, man, and load on us your wisdom and knowledge.
Oh man, you overhyped what I'm about. The dumb shit that's about to come out of my mouth. No,
if aliens came, Jake could just beat it with his hammer.
I would. No.
You would.
No, but here's my thought process on this question, right? Like I feel like aliens came across the anthill that we call a planet, and we're like, holy fuck, like what is going on over there? And like, you know, came here maybe thousands of years ago, checked it out, and they're like, no, these like monkeys running around on this planet kind of suck. Let's leave. And now it's just like they can talk to us.
Okay.
All I'm saying, they can. I think they can talk to us. I think they can. They might, but like just like we're boring compared. I think Craven's kind of right. Like I feel like they have communicated to us at one point. Like we were exciting, but now we're an old fling, 1,000-year-old fling with aliens that they're just not excited anymore to talk to us about. You know, I really think we're just such primitive beings. You know, it's like at one point maybe it was like, oh cool. You know, what are these other you know, little animals running around doing pooping and eating on this planet, but now it's, you know, who cares? You know, now it's just like we're just the boring anthill in the back that, you know, maybe one day dad of the universe is going to take a magnifying glass with his son and burn us all or something. I don't know, you know, that's how it comes off to me. Once again, Craven, you really overhyped that.
But it made a lot of sense. It's a very logical answer. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Well, thank you. It was very derogatory, but you know, I tried.
look at like the pyramids and stuff, and like ancient civilizations and all kinds of things like that, right? Like it's you know, we have ideas how they made it, and you know, we've had people like replicate it on a small scale, but you know, like who's to say that they didn't come and help build technologies and advancements and stuff like that, you know, 10,000 years ago or whatever, and they were here for, you know, 1,000 years, and we're like, all right, we're over this.
But like, dude, that's my thing, man. Like,
you got to peace out.
Listen, I've watched
how much longer can I be here?
Yeah, this is coming strictly.
My
from
vacation is over.
Yeah. This is coming strictly from the fact that I've just watched too much Ancient Aliens, but like if you ever look into some of the crazy stuff that they found in the pyramids, it's like, what? Like they had like batteries back in the day. They had like all these other crazy things. I believe the pyramids were like generators for power at one point. Like there's all this like weird like stuff that kind of proves that. Yeah, dude, like it's weird shit, man.
The pyramids had like a film of like gold and stuff over it. Like back when they were created, like it wasn't just stone, like they actually had something over it. And then just the location, they're perfectly geologically placed for like as a compass and where the sun comes. And like a lot of them have like canals with where water could flow and stuff because there were different rivers and like the landscape was entirely different, right? Like
like, how do you figure that?
Put
how
all
does
that together, and it's like, oh, that can create electricity. It's like you have a water flow done. I mean, think of like windmills and water mills, right? You have this
Mhm.
big conductor that's basically absorbing energy from the sun all day, all night in just scorching desert heats. And then you have this water canal that is basically your propeller. And yeah, they have like char marks and stuff inside these things. Like they had to all the hieroglyphics and stuff. Like they had to have get a light source from somewhere. The Nile River used to have substances in it in which you could make essentially glow sticks, but they were like super bright. But over time, like those minerals and stuff have like dissipated. But like people have done it. Like there's videos of people on YouTube, literally like old videos where like people like will go to like get the Nile water and get like a specific like mud or whatever and like mix these components together and it literally makes a glow stick. It's not like super bright, but you could picture how much brighter it could be if you had the extra materials. And they even believe that like the Nile River at one point was even had like more substance in it and more substance to it. Beyond just like it's just a river. Right now it's all like contaminated and messed up and stuff, but at one point it was this pure riverbed that housed all kinds of things. So yeah, the pyramids are, I mean, we could dive into pyramids sometime. Like that could be a video by itself. Also even the new research paper, that's something else that I really want to talk about, is there's a new research paper that came out on advanced civilizations, and it basically, like, to summarize, and we can go in depth into it on a later video, but it basically, the reason I'm even mentioning is because it's relevant to this, because basically the idea and the premise of the paper is that we've been around for, our current adaptation has been around for like 10,000 years or whatever it's been. I don't even think it's been that long, but there are civilizations that date back, tens of thousands of years, and then evolution and all that stuff, whatever, right? But even most of at one point, our planet has been around for millions of years, like literally millions of years. So we are like 1 billionth of the time spent on this planet. At one point, the planet was completely underwater. At one point, it was basically just like molten lava. I mean, it's gone through so many different cycles with so many different lives, and we find new creatures and stuff that we never even knew existed at certain points, and blah, 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 without getting on too much of it. The idea of the point of it is that even now, right, pyramids, all of those things, they've been around forever. But at some point, if we stop treating those, they wouldn't exist. They will eventually turn to ash, just as our planet. So yes, it might take 10,000 years for our skyscrapers and stuff like that to basically become dust, right? But at some point it will. So the whole idea of this theory of thesis is like, if you go back and say, if look at things that don't exist between the last like 1,000 years. Well, what if you went back 10,000? What if you went back 100,000 years? What if you went back 1,000,000 years? By the time we got to our known existence, there could have been 1,000 cycles of advanced civilization in life that lived and died. There were all kinds of catalysts.
And there was just like no record kept about or anything.
Yeah, there would be no record. And people have said like, okay, well, like, and this paper goes into like every argument. It goes into like carbon dating. Like, yes, carbon dating is excellent to go back, but even that only goes back so far, right? There are fossils and stuff where we have no evidence outside of like a tailbone. And it's just like, where's the rest of these? Like, they had to have been in abundance. How come? Because it just, at some point, there's no remnants of everything, because the earth just gets completely recycled, and everything gets recycled. So like, again, we can go back like, 100,000 years, a couple 100,000 years to find like dinosaurs, all kinds of stuff. But at some point that carbon dating stops. But we know the earth was around a lot longer than that. So it's like, so the idea of it, it's just an idea. Like can't remember the scientist's name off the top of my head, but he even says in the thing, like, this is simply just a theory, but it's a very plausible theory. And literally he goes through like every question. Well, how come there's no tool? Like, even tools, like our metals at so long, they could have been more advanced than we were. But you fast forward 1,000,000 years of them not touching anything, like it's all decimated. It's all gone, right? So
Right.
Yeah.
advanced civilizations, they could have been the aliens, right? That's why I said, like, it all ties in, because you could have had this advanced civilization and our world was dying
Yeah.
because it's gone through several death cycles and our world was dying, and they just pissed off, and they wouldn't look like us. They wouldn't look anything close to us, right? And so they could have went and pissed off to another galaxy, another universe, found some planets that are inhabitable, right? Because none in our solar system are. So they could have space traveled. They could have done that. They could have been far more advanced than us, got to this planet, and it returned home once this planet was inhabitable to find life. And we're like, wait a minute, time out. Like, there's new us, right? Like, so I don't know. It's an interesting thought.
Something else Night Owl brings up, that the ancients weren't dumb. Like he's talking about, like, the Egyptians weren't primitive. Like, Romans are the reason we have a sewage system. But, like, my thing about, like, just bringing it back to the pyramids real quick is, like, there's pyramids all over the planet. Like, how did everyone know to build these? Like, what I'm assuming are all considered to be, like, generators today. That's the thing that's so weird to me. You know what I mean? It's like, how are these all over the planet in completely different locations, thousands of miles apart? Like, that's
different time periods too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, what happened there? You know what I mean? Did they all just come to the same conclusion? Is it just a coincidence? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting stuff though.
You know, it's not like the Mayans traveled over to Egypt and was like, "Hey, man, look at those. We gotta do those too." You know what I mean?
And you got a copy of those plans so we could take them home. Email them to me.
Maybe they had that back then. I don't know. You know, who knows? But Night Owl is also bringing up panspermia, which is like, I don't disagree with that. So there's a lot of, I don't know. There's so much weird mysteries about our world that I love. It's a great topic to talk about.
It is. It really is. Real quick too, I want to throw this out because Sarah was asking, how do members submit topics for future consideration? And Sarah, you can submit them through email to us. You can also message it to us directly. Either way, whatever would be more convenient to you. But yeah, we'd love to hear ideas for topics that you might have. And yeah, that'd be very, very cool, Sarah. Thank you for asking that. We appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And what were you going to say, Fate? Sorry about that.
Oh, no, it's just I forgot the exact point that I was going to make, but it's okay.
Okay.
No, it's just in general, there's so many just strange anomalies and wonders that are clearly a lost science, right? And there were these advancements. There were these various, like, again, like, they weren't dummies. Like, you could you could cut, what is it? It's something like you could cut 10 of those blocks a day, every day, and it would take you 660 years or something like that to cut enough blocks, because you have, like, and that's not counting them having to go to these ridges and these mountains to go get the limestone to cut these things. Like, they clearly had some form of technology, right? And I remember I was talking to my cousin actually, and we were going back and forth, and he was like, "Well, how could they?" He's like, "Well, what tool they had to have?" And I was like, "Not necessarily." I was like, "We discovered tools in a manner that were, metals and various things like that. Who's to say a primitive didn't come up with a different form, right? Water can cut stone. What if they were able to create a specific, like a way to kind of focus water pressures? Like there could have been there's a million ways that they could have chosen this, right? And I mean, so their tools, like even just advancements for their tools, they could have had different types of technologies and stuff like that aren't like, they had light bulbs, but they weren't our version of light bulbs. They had electricity, but it wasn't our version of electricity. There's remnants of that stuff, like that they have found. But like people will bring up, well, how come we don't have like actual, like, oh, here's a clear light bulb? Because the materials were made completely different than what we were. Right? They weren't metals that can be buried and last thousands of years. Right? They weren't made out, like, they were probably made out of various stones and various pieces. And over time, you could dig up right? Especially if, let's say it was made out of like limestones or stuff like that. You could dig up tools and not even realize that they're tools because the rocks don't look like tools anymore just over time. And you just think that they're a random bunch of rocks, right? But at one point they were shaped in a specific way or they were cut in a specific way. And they were, I mean, they make literal blades out of rock, right? Like, and it's as sharp as our metals, right? So it's just like there's all kinds of things that they very likely were able to create and process, various through fire and just elements of the earth. There are all kinds. I mean, people go and literally do that for fun, right? They'll just go out to the woods with nothing on their back, like literally just their clothes. I mean, there's TV shows about it, and you see these guys literally make nothing out of something, right? And these are people that are just in an era where you have technology. So imagine if the only way for your survival was to come up with a solution. Imagine the things that you could come up with. Imagine the things that you could create. Imagine the little nuances that you would discover. Like, again, we're in a completely different time. Like, why don't we come up with that stuff now? We're too distracted. We have advanced technologies that are beyond that, right? Because, it's just we haven't figured out how to, like, turn our technologies into those things. That's the problem. But, yeah, I mean, compared to it, unless there was some crazy advanced civilization a long, long time ago, we're more advanced than we've ever been in our known existence, right? But that doesn't mean that there weren't other advanced civilizations based on that or that use different types of advancements, right? They didn't use technology. They didn't have supercomputers. They didn't have these things, but they had their own form of various technologies. So anyway.
Very cool, man. Very cool. And I agree with you. I absolutely agree with that. And also, just to say real quick, we have Sarah saying, because as a Nova Scotian, I selfishly want you to learn about Oak Island. It's so wild. Duly noted. We will put that on our list, Sarah. We will do that. That's very, very cool.
It's coming up.
There you go. And I love it. Melissa was saying, I watch Oak Island. All right. It's very, very cool. And Night Owl said, oh my God, yes, Oak Island is crazy. All right. Very, very cool.
Hell yeah.
All right. That'll be a fun one to try.
Do you guys know about Discovery Island?
I haven't heard of Discovery Island.
It's an island in Disney's theme park. I can't remember if I brought this up or not. I'm obsessed with it. Like, I think it is just so interesting. They apparently, allegedly, I don't believe this, but I think it's so interesting that a lot of people do believe this. That they did like animal testing on this island, like on extinct, like near, like endangered birds, not extinct birds, to try to keep them alive. And like apparently things went wrong or something. It was like the old Animal Kingdom in like old Disney World times or whatever. Yeah, no, it's a bizarre story. There's so like that's just scratching the surface, dude. Like there is so much more to talk about with this. People have snuck onto the island in the last 20 years, and it's all freaky and weird and shit. It's there's cameras everywhere. They like don't want people there for some reason. They're like, I could talk about Discovery Island for it forever. That's another weird thing, but I just want to throw that out there.
Is it in California, Disneyland, or is it Florida?
Orlando, yeah.
So it's still there as part of the theme park.
Yeah, it's like this little island in the middle of like their what is that, like a swamp, a marsh, whatever. Like it's a tiny island too. It's nothing too big. But
wow.
What's it called again? Discovery
Island. Yeah, it's
I've
definitely
never heard of this, bro.
Me neither. And I've been to
obsessed with
Disney World. Not in a long time.
Yeah. But still.
So I want to say they closed it in like the late 90s. I don't mean to hijack the episode.
You said Discovery Island in California too.
Oh, they did. Okay. I just know about the Florida one. Like I've done so much reading on it because I'm like obsessed with it. But
and they used to have like Tom Sawyer's Island open and stuff, and like that was they went that island that's like, well, I don't know if you guys have ever been to California Disneyland, but they have like an island that's out that like I believe is still closed now. I don't know. I haven't been to Disneyland in a long time, but that used to be open. Used to be able to go there. They used to have like that's gone through all different cycles and stuff, and it was like a literal island. They used to have like a submarine ride there and all kinds of stuff. They don't do any of the cool stuff anymore. So
wow, dude,
crazy. All right, well, I had never heard of that before. I really haven't. That's crazy. Oh my God, wow. And also want to say hey to Denisha. Denisha's in the chat too. What's going on, Denisha? Hope you are
Hey.
doing well. Wow. Julie says there are several alleged people are going to Discovery Island illegally
Yes.
via paddle boat.
Yeah.
By a paddle boat.
I'm gonna write a whole
There were a couple
episode
people
on
that
this.
drowned too.
That is crazy.
Going there and stuff like that. So
All right.
That is
I had-
nuts,
I had
man.
absolutely no idea. Oh my gosh. Wow. All right. Well, hey guys, as we start, I know Steve's like, wow. Well, as we start to wind down here, first of all, just to say to you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This was a really interesting conversation. We went all over the place, but also to say, you guys in the chat, this was really fun seeing the conversations that you guys are having. Definitely leave us some comments. Let us know more of your thoughts and theories, and we can continue the conversation there. And also, we've got some really good ideas thrown at us. Very, very cool. We have a list. We'll keep adding to that list. But just to say,
checking it twice.
if you have, what was that?
I said checking it twice.
Checking it twice. So we're
Santa Claus.
maybe
I
3
know.
times, man.
It's okay. It's all right. You don't believe in Santa
But-
night. We get it. Way to ruin it for everybody.
It's all
Damn.
It's all right, man. It's all right. But just to say, if you have a really a burning topic that you want to make sure that we do get to for sure, definitely consider joining our channel memberships. You just hit the join button next to the subscribe button, and we will be guaranteed to talk about that topic of your choice.
Yes.
And yeah, that's how we roll, baby. So seriously, thank you guys. We will catch you guys next week. And as always, the collective has spoken. Peace out, guys, and take it easy.
Bye, guys.
Jake is dancing. Peace out.